I've been making a series here on my channel talking about pre-owned watches or neo-vintage watches, vintage watches that are excellent value on the secondary market. These are luxury watches that lose a ton of value. I love watches like this because you get a really nice watch, maybe with a very nice movement for a very good price. Today, we're taking a look at one of my most recent purchases. It's a very affordable watch only because on the secondary market, these watches tank like crazy. It's from the brand Snyper. I've talked about them before here on my channel, but finally I have one hands-on to show you guys. So let's flip the camera at a watch that I got for around 95% off MSRP, the Snyper one. I've talked about the brand Snyper here on my channel a number of times. I've made videos where I talk about high quality watches that you can get for a very good price. This is a wild watch. It's not for everyone. However, there are a few brands out there like this that I love to highlight. Snyper were around in the 2000s when large watches were very, very popular. The Royal Oak Offshore became a very popular watch, and collaborations like the Terminator from the Royal Oak, made those watches very, very large, also sort of technical looking as well. They had different things on them, hanging off of them, whatever it was. This was an era where people wanted bigger and bigger watches with weirder and weirder stuff, and this, I think, was sort of the pinnacle of that phase. This is without its attachment. So this has an attachment. I have one attachment for this watch. It is a torch. I'll show you that in just a few minutes, but I wanted to show you this in its more normal form. We'll use that phrase, normal. I don't think this is a normal watch in any way, but there you go. It's called Snyper because it is inspired by sniper rifles. You can see that in the crown. This little crown looks like a fine adjustment for a rifle. That's the whole point here. This is a very heavy, large watch. It's in stainless steel and it has a DLC coating. There are these two bars on the left side of the case. That's where you attach items, whether it be a cigar cutter, a laser, or a torch, a flashlight, things like that. This is powered by a high-end automatic movement made by Chronode. This has a movement made by Chronode. If you're not familiar with Chronode, they make movements for very high-end brands like MB&F, Moser, and you could keep on going. There are a lot of watches out there that use Chronode movements that are very, very high-end. This is based on, I believe, a 2892 caliber, and they do a bunch of stuff to it. Usually you can actually see the movements in these watches because they put a display case back. Unfortunately, this one did not get one. This is their time only. Well, it's not really a time only because you also have a day date right at the 3 o'clock. So this is their time version. They make chronograph versions as well. They made tourbillons. They made very expensive versions of this watch. This watch is large, but its measurements are kind of deceiving. Today's video is brought to you by Chronograbs. If you guys are sick of paying high fees when buying and selling on places like eBay and Chrono24, check out chronograbs.com, where currently there are absolutely no fees buying or selling. That means you get a better price when you are buying and getting a better price when you are selling. So definitely check out chronograbs.com, an enthusiast-based marketplace started by John P. of the John P. YouTube channel, and currently the only marketplace that offers no fees. Definitely check them out at chronograbs.com. If you measure it at the bezel, it's like 39.9 millimeters. At the case, it's obviously much larger than that. It comes in at around 46 millimeters if you measure it from here to here. If you measure it from extremity to extremity, it's in the 50 millimeter range. You also have a thickness of around 14.9 millimeters, and then a lug-to-lug of around 51 millimeters, including the strap. Obviously, that is much larger. So this will not wear well on smaller wrists. In fact, I think for this watch, you probably need to have a large wrist. So if you thought that would be a problem for your wrist as it was, here it is with the attachment on. This is a torch. It's signed with the Snyper logo right there, and is around 68 millimeters with that torch attached. It's really easy to take the torch on and off. Basically, you could use your fingernail, and I think they've designed it so that you could lock it just like that, and then you could use your fingernail and unlock it. And it doesn't move very easily, so it actually will not come off. You could just unlock it, like I said, with your fingernail, and once it's unlocked, you could just lift it right off the watch, and then it is a torch. So if you have a cigar, you could light that cigar. I mean, you could leave it on the watch and light your cigar if you wanted to, but I'm not sure why you would do that. You might burn off your hair if you do that. If you have any hair on your arm or maybe even your skin, it would not make a lot of sense. Maybe if you want to set your hair on fire while telling time, that's another way of using this. But besides that, I cannot see why anybody would want to do that. But putting it back on is very easy, and then you could just take your fingernail and again lock it in, and that is it. Very crazy watch. Now, the whole point behind this video is that you are getting a chronode movement inside. Without this attachment, I don't think it looks all that wild. You're getting a beautiful strap on here with a beautiful buckle. It's integrated into the case. The case back is really nice. You have a crosshair on here. It's just a good looking, well, it's good looking to me, I will say. I think a lot of people will not find this as attractive as I do, and especially at the price. I paid $300 for this watch. Really, I mean, that is the whole point of this video. I've talked about these, and there are a lot of them on eBay, not a ton, and some of them, there's this watch on eBay right now going for $4,000. Originally, this was a $7,000 watch, and I got it for $300 with that attachment. That, in my opinion, is awesome. Maybe you want to take the strap off and just use this as a lighter. There you go. You have a watch with a chronode movement inside and a lighter. Pretty cool. I mean, $300 is not something that you should just throw away, especially for something that you may not end up wearing. But I wanted to get one of these on my channel for a very long time, so that's the reason why I got it. Let me show it to you on my wrist. But before I show it to you on my wrist, let me show you what I have on my wrist today. Basically, the complete opposite of the watch that we're looking at. This is a Zenith Elite. This was my dad's watch, a very elegant, very thin rose gold watch that my father obviously left me when he passed away. A very sentimental watch. I love this watch, and I have it on for a very special reason. And there you go. This is ridiculous. It's basically unwearable with this lighter on your wrist. It's ridiculous. You can't bend your hand back. I don't know why they would ever design something like this. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm not sure who would have worn this when these came out. I'm not saying I would have ever bought one either. I thought they were weird looking. I know that a Blog to Watch made a video about them, and I believe Ariel Adams really liked them, but I cannot imagine anybody ever wearing this and thinking that it's a wearable watch, putting this on your wrist and feeling that this is a wearable watch. However, once you remove that lighter, there you go. I mean, it is wearable. It's somewhat comfortable. It wears like a Royal Oak offshore, in my opinion. It's around 46 millimeters if you don't include this giant structure here and this structure right here. So if you are into the Royal Oak offshore and you're not scared of like a 47 millimeter watch or 48 millimeter watch, which is very large, this is definitely going to work for you. And you are getting a very high quality Swiss made automatic watch with, I believe, 300 meters of water resistance, a DLC coating, sapphire crystal, a really high end strap on here as well. I mean, again, look at this buckle. It's very, very custom. And it has a very high novelty factor. There's some carbon fiber on the dial, applied indices. There is lume. So we'll do a quick lume shot. And there's a lume. I mean, the lume isn't incredible, but for $300, I think it's excellent. For $6,800, the original MSRP, very, very bad. But with that being said, I didn't pay that $6,800. I paid $300, and look at it. Not bad. The reason why this was $300, there is a scratch on the sapphire crystal, but it's not really that noticeable, almost not noticeable at all in person. I would imagine on macro, which I'll be showing throughout this video, it will show up. But in person, it's really not all that noticeable. I want to keep this watch. I don't know. I may end up selling it. You never know. I end up selling a lot of my watches, and I always wanted to have one in hand and obviously do a video on it. So here we are, another weird watch, and I love bringing weird watches to the channel. So this is one of the weirdest. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Be as harsh as you want. You will not hurt my feelings. I think it's funny. And obviously I didn't buy this watch because I love the design. I see the value in this watch, and maybe some people won't, and I completely understand that. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. I will catch you guys in the next video.